Anyway, I ended up with a damn Ford, and then I got. You ain't never seen my Galaxy, have you?
Not well. Yeah, the convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you drove it over the house.
That's
remember?
Right.
But I do want to see it again.
It's over in the other barn.
Yeah.
We'll go look at it.
Boy, I'm telling you.
Yeah, this old 41 anyway. We're gonna sell it. We're building it to turn.
Oh man, look at this.
It's a pretty cool old truck.
Oh, that's a nice paint job on there, Joe.
Well, it's not as good as we'd like.
Dude.
For the guy that painted it, it's not bad.
I can, your son?
No, whoever restored it for that woman,
Yeah.
her daddy, he painted it. There's some things we don't like on it. It's not real straight, but
Yeah.
it's straight enough for a driver.
Dang, Joe, I don't, of course I ain't a professional.
But it's got a Dakota digital in it.
Dakota Digital?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get over there and look at that here. And let me, I'm gonna crack open this beer here right quick.
All right.
Drinking Keystone today. I don't think I've ever had a Keystone, Joe.
It's good.
Oh, yeah. Damn, Joe. That's all right. Yes, it is. I'm gonna tell you, old Joe got it going on right here. Joe?
Yes, sir.
What size engine this thing got in it?
327 with a 350 turbo and a 10-bolt Chevrolet rear end.
Is that right?
Mustang 2 front end. Krager wheels.
Yeah?
41 mile.
Well, that's all right right there, I tell you. I like that. So Joe says it's a little wavy. It's just a daily driver, but I don't
Tailgate's
know.
real wavy.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
do you think it come from the factory a little wavy? I mean, I don't know.
probably from the factory it's not quite as wavy as it is now.
Because there's no ribbing in there to keep it from being wavy, so I don't know.
And back then nobody cared, they were just trucks, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty nice old truck.
Yeah, it is.
They took the split hood off of it.
Split hood.
You know, it had the sides come up. And
Oh, it did. Okay.
It had a 6-cylinder in it originally, of course. When they put that V8 in it, put the 327 in it, when they before they painted it at all, it was leaking down through the ribs on the hinge on the hood. So
Yeah.
took that out, welded the hood up, and
So this was aftermarket type.
yeah, it was aftermarket.
So it wasn't from the factory they did this.
No.
So you're saying this is the modifications they did.
Right. Yeah. And they
Okay.
changed the hood hinges and all that.
Yeah.
Originally, the hood just opened up from
I
to
see.
the center, and
Yeah.
you couldn't. You know, it stayed down.
Yeah. I see this looks a little orange peel here. Or is that,
That's.
Or
They should have fixed that when they.
you think it was rusted when they done that? And
Yeah,
pitted?
it was pitted, and they just didn't. They should have wiped it with some finish putty, and they could have got all those little places out.
But you know what? I mean, yeah, I mean, a professional would say, hey, what are you, but
it's not a show truck. That's.
yeah, but it almost is.
But if it's a show truck, they'd have fixed stuff like that. But anyway, ain't a bad old truck for what it is.
No. I really like this, Joe.
Did you ever go to that cruise in up? They had it to market up there.
I've seen them up there. I've never really gone by it.
I went up there one time in the brown truck, but
Yeah.
in that one I got from Archie at GMC.
Yeah.
But I didn't stay. I just rode through.
Well, why don't you go up there with this one?
Because they've quit doing it now.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Now, I saw another little car show. It's probably been 4 or 5 months ago, up at the Milliken store there on 50 between Portland or between Oak Grove and Westmoreland. There was some people getting together up there, a really small one.
Well, they have one.
But they were all Fords.
They have one in Portland too, on Old Main Street.
Yeah. Now, is this one tagged and insured where you could take it up there? Or?
Yeah, it's tagged and insured.
Yeah, well, Joe, do it, man. People want to see it.
I don't have time. I don't make time. Put it that way.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
There's one we could go over to the Civic Center. There's one over there every Saturday.
I see that too.
I've been over there several times with different ones. I've had a Ford over there, had a Corvette, both Corvettes over there.
Yeah.
Had this over there once, and a little trike. I've had it over there.
Yeah.
A little scooter trike I've got.
Oh, you got another one? Wait a minute, the trike.
Yeah.
So you sold John he had the sidecar one that you sold him. This is trike. I got you.
Yeah, it's just a little 150cc scooter trike. It's not a Harley.
Well, what else we got around here these days? You got anything in your other shop over there?
Yeah.
You got your vet over there, don't you?
My vets, both vets are over there, and Ford's over there. If you want to go look at that.
Yeah, let's look at it.
You can get this golf cart on your video.
Yeah, this
used to be John and Kathy's.
Yeah, this was and who he's talking about is my mother-in-law. She passed away several years ago, and this was her golf cart. Old Joe bought it.
I did some trading with John and got it.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings back some memories. I miss Kathy. Sure do.
Yeah.
Are we going to ride over there?
We'll ride over there.
All right. Turn that off so we don't. All right, we at Joe's other little shed. That old Coca-Cola machine there, would you? Let me get my shadow out of the way.
That's pretty old.
It is. I miss them old pool bottle soda machines.
I think it's a 15-cent machine, best I can remember.
Is it?
I think it was.
Oh man, you're gonna have to turn some lights on here, Joe.
Yeah, this is a mess.
No, it's not a mess. There's things in here that people would love to see.
A lot of junk in here.
Hey, ain't no such thing as junk. Everything's got a history. So that's old Joe's convertible. Joe, what year model is this one?
It's an 18, got 5,300 miles on it.
5,300 miles?
That's all.
Yeah, you about like my dad.
Yep.
My dad's has got what? He's a 2005, and I think he's got like what, 5,000 on his, somewhere around there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good looking car, Joe.
I drove it to a funeral the other day up in Lebanon last time I drove it.
Yeah. Look at this old motorcycle here, would you?
Yeah, it's a 73 Honda SL125, totally original.
I had a Honda XL70, and if I remember right, it might have been a 1975, maybe a 1976. And I loved that motor, a little trail bike.
Yep.
It had blinkers and...
That's what that one is.
What do we got over here that you charging up here?
That's a Honda Shadow.
Ah, Honda Shadow.
That was Archie's.
Yeah. Archie was his best friend. He passed away here a while back. And so Joe got a lot of his stuff that he had, rightfully so.
That Goodyear tire, that's off Harry Gant's car.
Harry Gant? Man, that's awesome.
Bought that down in Daytona.
There's a few things you don't know about Joe. He was into drag racing here for several years ago. What years was you into drag racing?
Mid-80s.
Mid-80s?
Early 90s.
Yeah, yeah. And he used to have a Corvette sitting right across here.
Yep.
And
two-frame car.
Two-frame. And I asked him one day, I says, well, why don't you get it back drag racing? He says, well, it had such a tire shake, we never run it. And I said, well, why didn't you fix it? He said, what did you have many? You had like 4 others or 5 others?
Well, we had 5 Corvettes at one time, two drag racers, 2 IHRA drag cars. One was a stock frame narrowed for the slicks in the rear. And it started out as a 68, and we rebodied it to an 82. And we've got molds for every piece of an 82 car.
Yeah, man. This guy right here, he's a legend, I'm gonna tell you. Look at this.
I've had this car since 80, it's an 80.
Oh man. Hang on, Joe. I'll help you pull that old cover back here. I gotta put my beer down where I can help you. I won't drop that can on your car.
No.
We can't do that.
And we restored this car 2 years ago or so.
Your son helped you restore it,
Yeah,
right?
Actually, he did most of it. But we restored it. It's got all new
Oh,
new
man.
interior.
What year model is this, you
80
say?
model.
80?
Last one of the last ones to come out of St. Louis.
Last one of the last ones to come out of St. Louis.
Right. Before they moved to Bowling Green.
Oh, man, look at this, would you?
But it's pretty nice. So it's a nice driver.
Yeah, what size engine this thing got in, you remember?
It's got a L82 350.
Yeah.
Got the good crank and all that in it.
Oh, yeah, right here. L82.
L82. It's got the good crank. All the L82s have aluminum intakes. In 80, the L82 was the big motor, and they advertised it only had like 270 horsepower.
Yeah.
But it's got a lot more horsepower than that.
I bet you. Yeah. Phew. Vacuum tubes everywhere, ain't it?
Oh yeah.
That was during that time, wasn't
on
it?
this car, yep.
Yeah, I remember that. What year model was that El Camino I sold you? At 80?
It was an 86.
86, and they was more vacuum lines on it than you could shake a stick
That's
at. It was.
Now everything's computer operated.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad they did away with a lot of those old vacuum lines.
But I like this one because it's a non-computer car.
Yeah, so you can work on it.
You can work on this sucker.
Yeah. Look at this. Look, you don't see that very often. Got a water spigot valve on there to shut the heater off.
Right. Because it got so hot inside.
Yeah.
Even with the air on, they don't have much insulation in the floorboards. So it'd get pretty hot in there. So I just put that on there where I could cut the heater all the way off.
Right.
But anyway, back here.
See what else we got. He got more stuff.
This car was a friend of mine that lives in Smyrna that my son knows and I know. He's kind of like another dad to us all.
Come over here and help him out here a little bit.
But we went up to visit him one day, and my girlfriend Annie saw this car sitting in his garage up there in the barn. She said, I gotta have that.
I guarantee you the people just saw the front end of this car, they know exactly what it is.
So anyway, it's a 64 Ford Galaxy.
64?
64. And if you'll notice, show them that trunk sticker, Bartow Ford.
Yeah.
Because there's a story behind that.
The story behind Bartow Ford.
Yep. And got the tag, the trunk sticker and the license plate.
Yeah.
Or the frame, license plate frame, and then I got the Bartow Ford license plate on the front. But anyway, the story was, in 64 and 5, when I was in high school, I was working at the Ford store down there, and it was Bartow Ford.
Oh, really? That's okay.
And so when I bought this, I called the sales manager down there and talked to him. I said, I just told him the story that I'd worked there in 64 and 5 in high school.
Yeah.
And I just bought a 64 Galaxy. And did by any chance he have the trunk stickers and the license plate frames and the tag? He said, we got all that.
Yeah.
I said, is there any way I could beg, borrow, steal, or whatever, a set of it? He said, I'll send you a set. I said, well, I would appreciate it. I said, because it'll go on my car. So
I hear you.
It kind of ties the car, because when I was working there, all the new Fords that came in, I was a mechanic's helper, quote, mechanic's helper is what my job title was in high school. But actually I was a mechanic just getting paid mechanic's helper wages.
Yeah.
75 cents an hour back then. And but when they'd come off a truck, I'd have to service them and get them ready to go on the showroom floor. And I serviced many of these cars. So I'd always had a hanker. I always loved the bucket seats in these cars. I thought they were the best looking bucket seats.
They're good looking seats. Yes, sir.
But anyway, so after I bought it, he sent me that stuff and I put it on it. So now it kind of ties it to my high school.
I'm telling you, Joe.
This old car is not bad looking either.
No, it ain't. I don't see any ripples in it.
It's got a few, but not very many.
Yeah.
And again, it's a driver, not a show car, but it's
Yeah,
a pretty
but
good driver.
you know what? Keep it real is what I always say.
Yep.
You know, and that's real.
And I wouldn't mind driving this car to California. It'd make it.
Now, I bet it would. Look at this. It looks like it got a new fuel pump on it. That fuel pump, it's
well,
or you got it good and clean.
No,
That's all I got to say.
it's probably a new one. It's fairly clean, but it could stand some touch-ups here and there.
I got $390.
Yep, $390 with a 4-barrel.
Man. Now this is interesting. You don't, I mean.
That was a factory, that was your windshield washer bag.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I don't recall ever seeing a bag.
Yep.
So in this year here, was everything you put on them an option? I mean, like a windshield washer, was it an option?
It was optional. Yep.
Because I know, like that 57 Chevy John had, an oil filter was optional.
Yep. 265 in it.
The bullets on it were optional.
And the
reverse lights were optional.
So was the windshield wiper, windshield washer thing on it had a glass jar.
Yeah.
And over on the left fender, inner fender, and you'd fill it up, and if you got that option, they also had a little thing over it. You put the windshield washer bottle, the storage bottle to add it, so you could add it to the windshield washer.
Yeah.
Jug.
Yeah. Well.
But that was all optional.
Man, that's impressive. Well, this is kind of that was an upgrade.
That's Ford unique. No,
I mean, when I say an upgrade, it's like this is kind of getting back to the way the new cars are. You had a radiator,
right,
and now they're putting a bottle over here that you put a little bit into.
That's not what that is. That was the radiator tank, because they got side tanks on them.
Yeah.
And that's where you added your.
But that's what I'm saying. The newer cars has got this now.
Right.
So it's kind of like they went away from it, but went back to it.
Yep. Ford was the only one that had one like that I can remember.
Well, I hate to say it, maybe they were on to something, you know.
Could have been.
Yeah. Now you also got to have a sign that says caution, fan, keep your fingers out.
And
so,
thing telling you about the vacuum on the vacuum booster and all that.
Yeah. Wow. That's all right, Joe.
It's a pretty cool old car.
Yes, it is. So what else we got? Oh, looky here.
That's my trike.
That's your little trike.
Yeah, when we had the condo. Well, I still got the condo in St. Augustine, but when we'd go down there for the winters before my daughter started living in the condo.
Yeah, so now wait a minute. So you got a condo that you ain't been to in 2 years because your daughter took it over.
Right. But anyway.
Ain't that just like kids?
Yeah. Anyway, that was my grocery getter and everything.
Yeah, look. Handicap sticker. Tag. Look at them.
Well, I'm handicapped.
I know you are. Yeah. Now what is this? What brand is this?
It's Chinese. That's
Chinese?
the best I can tell you.
You don't even know, huh?
No.
I don't see a name on it anywhere.
It's some kind of Diazo,
I was gonna say it must be a Vespa, but it ain't a Vespa.
No, I had a Vespa in my younger days. In '63, I had a Vespa.
Yeah.
They were damn good scooters.
Oh yeah.
Of course, Vespas were manually shift. You had a clutch and the shifter was on the handlebar. You pull the clutch in and come up one first and then 3 down for the 3 years. Yeah. But I couldn't ride one of them now because of my hand. I couldn't shift it.
Joe, he was in an accident. How many years ago? Let's kill this so we can hear this accident story. Oh, this thing runs good though.
It does. Back in '72, I was in a car wreck. Hit on Bell Road. There was a S curve and a semi with a bulldozer on it came around one way, and I was coming around the other way, and we met in the middle of the S curve. I had a '66 Chevelle, and the only thing left of the top was the right A-pillar. It took the whole top. It was a SS car, super sport car, barely scraped the tops of the hood scoops, took the top half of the steering wheel off, the headrest off. Evidently I laid over in the seat. I don't remember that part, but evidently I did. But the blade was sticking over the low boy, and it caught my arm right here. Broke it up here, broke it down here. I still got a plate down here. And when the bone moved around inside, it cut the nerves, so I've only got one nerve in this hand that feeds my little finger and this side of this finger. The rest of my arm's dead. But and my hand used to just lay like that all the time, and my arm just hung down. I couldn't do nothing with it. Finally got my arm back to where I could pull it back up, and then they did surgery on my hand, put a plate right here to keep my hand out straight where I could use it, and took the nerve that made my fingers go down, or no, took the nerve that pulled my wrist down and pulled it around and tied it to my fingers to pull them up. So it took me a long time to get my brain trained to pull my fingers up. I had to think about putting my wrist down, but it worked. And doctor's name was Charles Norton. This is back in, like I said, 72. Christmas of December 18th of 72 is when I had the wreck, and I stayed in the hospital till New Year's Day, working at Melrose Camping Center. Got out of the hospital on New Year's Day, and they had wrecked a motorhome that was due for delivery the next day. So I went back the day after New Year's, fixed the motorhome. They had my arm in a half cast, and had it what do they call it, wrap, rubber wrap they'd put around it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I said, I want to keep that cast. So I took the cast, because my arm was still staying down like that at that time. So I took the cast, and I'd put my arm up, put that cast on it, and take that wrap and put around it to hold my arm in place, and I fixed that motorhome like that.
I'm gonna tell you, Joe's an interesting guy. He done everything, and he was also a school teacher.
Yeah,
we'll get into that. We're gonna go into a cooler area before we get into that. But hey, look at this other little bike he's got right here. What is this?
I bought that from Archie too. Before I bought it from him and then sold it back to him, and then inherited it after he died.
Now, what brand is this one?
That's another Chinese.
Is it?
It's yeah, I don't know what brand.
It don't matter as long as it runs, right?
Oh, it fires up too. I'm sure.
You don't have to crank it. I believe you. Yeah, old Joe, he's something else.
I got too much junk, I know that.
No, it ain't junk. Well, it's another man's treasure.
Yeah, too much stuff.
Well, that's all right.
There's some cool Barbie dolls.
Oh, looky here, would you?
50th anniversary Corvette and NASCAR 50th anniversary.
Hey, somebody might want to buy that if they see that on this YouTube channel.
They might. It's for sale, both of them.
Well, if anybody wants to buy those, y'all just contact me. Well, I'll get you in touch with Joe, all right? Well, here we go. Look at that.
And then you need to show them my stuff up here, David.
Yeah, I will. I'm getting at that.
It's cooler in here.
Yes, it is cooler. Look at all this stuff up here.
I bought that bicycle. I bought it because I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Fairing bike, you know, like they had, like the crotch rockets.
Yeah.
But anyway, I bought that at a yard sale, and then the fire engine. Sandy and I had a thing about fire engines because we was at a race one time. We were smoking in the, well, no, we weren't smoking in the room, but anyway, we turned the heater on because we'd come back to the racetrack and it got chilly in the room.
Yeah.
So we turned the heater on, went across the street to get something to eat. Come back, and the fire department was in our room, thought we'd set fire to the place. So ever since then, we had a thing about fire engines.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Everywhere we'd go, we'd see a fire engine. So I bought her that one time at a flea market up in Louisville, or a swap meet in Louisville. And then the 20 car, I did a ride around Daytona in the 20 car, in Tony Stewart's 20 car, when he was for Gibbs. And so I found that at a yard sale, and I bought it because it was a 20 car. It still runs. The tires are slick.
Yeah.
I think he did a burnout on the final lap for after one because the tires are coming apart on the rear.
Yeah.
And then that stroller,
that's an old one right there.
Stroller with the pig in it. Sandy, that was her stroller when she was a baby.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh man.
And we were going to restore it, and then we decided no, we're gonna leave it with the patina.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that. That's
And the little wagon I bought at the yard sale.
yeah.
Most all that stuff I picked up at yard sale. The little rocket scooter Josie gave to me.
Yeah.
And the other little bike up there, it was at a yard sale.
What about tire? What was the story behind that one?
I don't know whose car that was on, but I bought it at, no, actually I found that down at Gooseby.
Yeah, okay.
And
now that motor looks familiar. Did that come out of that Corvette?
no.
What did it come out of?
It came out of a 65 Chevrolet station wagon. Had a 2-barrel on it.
Yeah.
Got it locked up, in a guy's front yard.
Yeah.
Bought it out of his front yard, took it over to Maplewood, and we had to, I soaked the pistons and everything for 2 or 3 weeks. And finally ended up having to take a hammer and beat them out.
Oh man, didn't crack a ring, did you? I'm sure you did.
Yeah, we ended up, boy, I got over $2,000 in machine work on it.
Yeah, you go trying to free up them cylinders or them pistons, you'll crack a ring if you ain't careful.
Anyway, we got the pistons out. I built it, put a new crank in it, all new valve springs and rockers and keepers and all that, and put a mild cam in it. We was going to be able to use it in a pro street truck I was building, but we never finished it. So I just kept the motor. I've had the motor, it's been built since early 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still got it.
I wish y'all could have seen that Corvette he had sitting in here. It was a bad dude, I'm gonna tell you.
Nice.
In its time now. I know they've gotten
now they're running C7s and C8s.
Yeah, but it was a bad dude back in this day.
Oh yeah.
What else we go? Look, we got all these bicycles and trophies.
Yeah, that bicycle right there in the front, the kind of beige looking one.
Yeah, the John Deere.
It's a John Deere bicycle.
Look at that, John Deere bicycle.
Now it's a girl, so it's not worth as much. If it would have been a boy, it'd been worth more.
I mean, what? I mean, so what? Girl, boy is still.
Yep, but the boys' bikes bring more.
So that's weird. Now, all these trophies.
All the big trophies were with this bike.
Was with this motorcycle?
Yes.
What's the deal with that?
My father-in-law had a 62 Sports Roadster Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And we'd go to the ISCA shows all over the country. And I'd take this motorcycle and show it as a track bike.
Yeah.
And his motorcycle would fit in the trailer in front of his Thunderbird.
Right.
So we'd take it with us, and he'd end up getting a second place, or might even get a first every once in a while.
So it was always in the scene every time.
But this one's what got all the big talk.
Is that right?
And then I even got down in the house, I've got a plaque that's got $50 in it where it won best bike in the show.
Yeah. Cool.
That's when we was in the car show business.
Right, yeah.
I've been in round business. I've been in drag racing business. I've been in car show business. A little bit of everything. If it's
camper business.
If it's car, yeah, camping business. If it's car related, I've done it.
Yeah.
And that's back in my earlier days.
Yeah, look at that. Did you do that?
No, a girl in California did that back in '74.
California.
Yep.
Well, you might need to get rid of that.
And that
kidding.
that was inside the parts department, or inside one of the bays at my grandfather's dealership in Nokomis, Illinois.
Really?
And I think it was 53, somewhere around there, circa 53.
Yeah.
But I used to go down there and play when I was a kid, so I was raised up in a Chevrolet Buick dealership.
Yeah.
But
so old Joe, now, Joe, you gotta tell the story now. So after all this mechanicking stuff, you got into school, being a school teacher.
Right.
So what all did you do there?
Well, I started out teaching at auto diesel. I went to auto diesel college in 65, 6, and 7. After I graduated, I did real well in welding, and the welding instructor wanted me to come sub in the summertime while people was on vacation. I said, sure. So I went to work in the summer as a substitute for the welding department. And then they came to me and said, would you like to teach automotive? I said, yeah. So they put me in a live engine class, and I cubbed with another teacher for 2 weeks, and then took a class myself and started teaching at the auto diesel college. Well, I did automotive for about 3 to 6 months, and then I moved over to the body shop where I'd taken auto body down there, and I knew the instructor down there real well. He wanted to transfer me down there, so he got me down in the body shop. I worked there till I got a job with a manpower program, federal program, through Metro schools down on 2nd and Broad. And I taught there for, I don't know, about 2 years, 2.5 years, something like that. I went in business by myself doing body shop, and then started working on motorhomes as a sublet for Melrose Camping Center. Well, I didn't have a building to put the motorhomes in. It was coming wintertime, so I went over and talked to them and struck up a deal where I'd run the shop, and they gave me a bay, and I got 50% commission, and ran the shop. So I went to work for them at Camping Center, and then in March of, that winter, and that was in 72 when I started that winter. I had that car wreck and messed my arm up, but I went back, and then it ended up being over the body shop. I was running the body shop. I had hired some people to do the work, and then I went to being over the body shop and the service department, and did that for 2 or 3 years. And in 75 I was still there. 78 was when vocational education opened back up big in Metro, so I got a job teaching again at Maplewood High School, and I was there from 78 to 2005 teaching. Started out teaching auto body, they called it then, collision repair now. And then I taught auto mechanics after the body shop part fizzled out. I taught auto mechanics, which now they call automotive technology. But anyway, in 05 I retired and ended up out at Shady Cove Campground, and that's where I met David and Patsy and Skip and Lucy and Jean and all them. We used to have a great time. Robert Phillips, we had a great time out there. Yeah. We used to sit out in the middle of the night and play music and drink beer and party, and just had a good time.
Oh yeah, we did.
It'd be colder than hell. We'd have a big fire going.
How many years was we out there? How many years was you out there?
I don't know, about 5 or 6.
And I was out there about, what, 10?
I think you were out there about 10.
Yeah.
Because I left, and then you left a couple of 3 years after.
Yeah, it was something like that. So we had a good time, that's for sure.
Yeah, we had all our campers in a circle. John Bowers and his wife had his fifth wheel in there, and David and Erica and Patsy and Skip and us, and then across the street from us was Boots and Gina. And Buzz had a boat down there called Copapelli. But we'd all eat together on Friday nights. We'd have a big bring your own food, bring a dish, and we'd cook. I'd usually cook the meat.
Joe, I don't recall ever bringing a dish. I'm sorry.
Well, you did a lot of beans on that homemade stove.
Well, yeah, I did.
You'd have beans boiling on your homemade stove.
Yeah, I would do that, yes.
Or we'd hang a pot over the fire.
Mm-hmm.
We went through a lot of wood out there.
Yeah, we did. Lots of wood. We had fun. I wouldn't trade that for nothing.
Oh, me either.
Yeah.
And we had, at the time, we had a good bunch of people we thought were good friends.
Yeah.
And then as it turned out, they kind of fizzled out, and everybody went their separate ways.
Yeah.
And it just ceased to be fun, so we left.
That's right. But you know what? Me and old Joe, we still talk.
That's right.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't care what's going on. If it's a holiday, a birthday, whatever, you can bet your butt Joe's gonna send me a message. Ain't nobody else doing that, but you are, I can tell you. That's a true friend right there.
I feel like I owe it.
You don't owe, no, sir.
That's just what I want to do.
You don't owe it to nobody. That just shows your personality. You're a good person.
Well, I thank you, but I don't know about that. You know,
Now,
that could be debated.
Now, there's something else you used to do that was pretty impressive. You remember when I took you skiing? You wanted to get up one last time.
I skied at 60 years old.
Yeah, but tell me the story before the skiing. You were pretty damn good at it.
Back in the day, I could ski pretty good.
Yeah. So on the Cumberland River, you used to ski from certain places.
Oh, yeah,
what was that length
We'd
that you
put
did?
in at McGavick Ferry Ramp and ski through downtown. And
this was non-stop.
right, ski all the way to downtown and back.
So how many miles do you think that was?
Probably river miles, probably about 5 each way.
Yeah, 5, so 10 miles.
Yeah, and we could do that easy back then. Of course, back then we were a whole lot better shape.
So at what age, you said the age a while ago, but I didn't pick up on it. What age was you when, so Joe, when I had my boat out there, Joe said, I want to get up one last time on some skis. Will you take me out? And I said, yeah, I'll do it. And now I had a Triton bass boat with a little 50 on it. I said, man, I don't know if it'll pull you up or not, but we'll give it a shot. So what happened in that?
Well, I had a pair of Headland Manufacturing skis. I still got them. Flat bottom, square back. One of them was a slalom, but you could kick it off. And they were made in Nokomis, Illinois, where I used to live. And I found them at a yard sale one day. I said, I've got to have these. And I bought them. The boots are still good shape, still ski with them. And I've got them hung up in the garage over there on the other side. But since they were flat bottom, they were easy to get up on. So I got up on them. I skied behind David for a little while, and then I let go and
I was impressed.
Coasted down. And I still want to do it one more time. I'm going to do it at 70. Well, I'm 77 now.
Well,
so if I do it again now, I'll be at 77 or 78 when I do it.
Well, Joe, I got the bass boat to do it. I got a 150 on that one, so I think we can yank you out of the water.
If I got enough strength to hold on to the rope now. Since I had that stroke, I don't have the strength I used to have.
There you go.
But I'm back to normal a lot better than I was.
You're doing pretty good, Joe. Proud of you. Well, let's see here. I don't know what else we got. There's all kinds of stuff, but
yep. There's more.
He's got stuff everywhere. Well, now, what'd this come off of?
I bought that down to Daytona Flea Market.
Yeah.
It came off the 72 car.
Wait a minute. Do I? Oh, that okay. I seen that 8 in the camera there. I'm like, wait a minute. But I see the 72. Yeah.
Anyway, I think I gave $60 for it or something like that.
Well, that's awesome.
And this is something I want you to look at over here. You don't see many of these. This was in my grandfather's basement.
Oh, a pachinko machine? Is that what it is?
No, it's a pinball machine.
It's pinball, okay.
Penny pinball machine.
Now, that's old. I mean, how?
Well, I know it was there in the early 50s because we used to play it down there when we were kids.
Look at here.
And he painted the thing red here, but it worked. Well, it would still work, except I let it sit out in that old motorhome I got sitting out there, and it dried. It came apart.
But that can be fixed real
easy. I
just
got to put it back together.
Yeah. But
it's got the back on it. It's got a little thing that says something on it.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty neat, Joe.
But we used to play. He had it sitting in an old grocery cart.
Well, drove home from my buddy's house, Joe. Damn heck of a storm come through. Raining like I don't know what. Couldn't see the roads. Get home, power's out. So I'm running around in the dark. The only thing I got for lights, my GoPro camera light. Been an interesting day.